so morning everyone. Hope you're all doing good. Yes, I think so. Everybody has received your test marks. Yes, Caleb, I'm fine. Hope all are doing good. Okay, fine. So in the last class, I showed you some videos. Okay, so what was it about? Stopping a ship, or that is called docking. Okay, so docking is nothing but to stop a moving ship. So in harbors, normally it is done in harbors. And what is the connection between this friction and the docking of a ship? So because the friction exists everywhere. So it is not only acting on the surface, but also on the surface of water, as well as in the air. Okay, so everywhere there is friction. So today we are going to discuss the concept of friction in fluids. So what do you mean by a fluid? Fluid is nothing but a combination of that liquid and gaseous state. Okay, so liquids and air together, they are called fluids. So we are going to discuss on fluid friction. So with that, we will close this lesson. We will also discuss the question answers if possible. Okay, fine. So please look at the screen. I'm sharing the screen now. So friction exerted by, are you able to see the screen? So please just chat if you are able to see the screen. Okay, thank you. So friction exerted by liquids and gases. Liquids and gases. Okay. And this is also called fluid friction, also called drag of the fluid. Okay. So drag of the fluid. So friction exerted by liquids and gases, and it is called the fluid friction as well as the drag of the fluid. So where can you see these frictions? Assume that you are flying a kite. So normally children play with kites, okay? So the kite is flying in the air. You can see the kite is flying at some top of, so when you are flying a kite from the top of the floor, you can see that. So it is flying here and there. So it is having some resistance for its movement. I say the word resistance. So this kite is having some resistance for its flow in the air. So that resistance is called what is called friction. Okay, as well as the same principle is, so please don't scribble on the screen. Who is this? So please don't scribble on the screen. I stop share and again sharing. Okay, fine. So the same principle applies to aeroplane also. Helicopters. Okay. Is it here or helicopter? As well as skydivers. Skydivers. As well as the birds experience the friction. So the quite interesting fact is that so when you want to observe the flow of or the movement of the birds one place to another place, so they are having some wings. Okay, I just I'm sorry, I'm not good at drawing. I just want to draw a bird. Okay, so with some wings. Okay, fine. So the bird which is flying in the sky is opening its wings like this. So, and the body of that particular bird is also curved, okay? So the neck is also curved, and the particular wings is also curved. So why do this bird keep its wings curved? Because it wants to go through air, okay? So therefore the air which is opposing the resistance of opposing the movement of this particular bird, so will be moving away from the bird through the direction of the wings. The same principle is used for constructing aeroplanes, okay? And you might have seen that, okay? So I just want to draw some birds. They are migrating from one place to another place. You can see that. So the birds will be flying in a uniform or some particular manner, okay? So like this they would be flying. So the first bird would be here, and the second and third bird would be here, and other birds would be so moving or migrating along with the or flying along with the other birds. If you see the movement of these birds, so this will be all the birds will be moving through the air which is opposing the motion of the birds. However, they will overcome the friction between their body and air. The first bird or the birds in the first and second row, they would be getting tired after some movement of after moving some kilometers. So what will happen is that these three birds will come back, and the birds which are at the end, they would be moving towards the front row. Otherwise the birds in between this row, they would be moving towards the front row. So they would be guiding the other birds. So after some time, again the first and second row would be getting tired. They would be coming back, they will be taking rest, and the other birds within the other row, they would be coming front and they will be guiding the other birds, okay? So this is a natural event. They know that while crossing the air resistance, more amount of energy is spent, because the nature of friction is that opposes the motion of bodies. Not only moving a book or a notebook on your floor, even for the birds which are flying in the sky, if you are eager to know the behavior of the birds, so what is that? What is the study of birds? What is the study of birds? Is there anyone who is interested in that study? What is the study? Any idea? Yes, Caleb, you are interested in studying the birds. Yes, for that you have to get up early. So who are not zoology, Kanishka. I think ornithology, isn't it? Yes, I think ornithology is the study of birds. Okay, study of birds. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Okay, okay, so ornithology, fine. So if you're interested in that, so you can observe continuously the movement of, or you can also watch some geographical channels. So the relation connecting friction and the movement of birds. What about animals? Have you seen any animal which is flying? No. But they are moving along the ground. They are experiencing the friction as experienced by us. Some animals are moving inside water. Some animals are moving inside water. Aquatic animals. Am I right? Aquatic animals. Okay. So you just compare this. So this is a water body. Say for example a river. So there is a river, and there are so many fishes or fish, tortoise, and what is that, crocodiles. So they are moving inside the water. Assume that, so there is a sudden sudden threat for some other animals which is trying to escape through this water. Say for example, an yak. Say for example, a yak, so which is trying to escape from some other cheetah. So all these are real life situations, okay? So we cannot see this. We cannot see through these videos or some other documentaries. Assume that a cheetah was chasing a yak. That yak is trying to escape through this water. Fishes, tortoise, crocodile, all these or other, even in seawater you can see dolphins, okay? All these are having a shape. That shape is called a streamlined shape. Streamlined. Because by nature they have the body structure that would reduce the friction exerted by water. As they are aquatic animals, the body was structured in such a way that the friction exerted by the fluid is less as per their body structure. But this yak, or even you can say some horse or a deer, so anything that is trying to escape through this water, can that deer or yak or horse can move fast in the water? Can these animals move fast in the water? No, they can move. Even cheetah can move through water. Elephant can move through water, but their body structures are like that. So they were created to move along the ground, not on the water. Okay, so therefore, so only because of this water friction exerted by the water on their bodies, they are moving very slow. It is very easy for this crocodile to catch some other animals which are not amphibians or some other water, not aquatic animals. Is that clear? So I am telling some examples with respect to animals and birds. Okay. So the concept is friction. Is that clear for everyone? Are you able to understand? Yes, Shivanuja, please continue watching Discovery Channel instead of other channels. Okay. So you will get so many ideas, so many interesting facts in Discovery Channel. Okay. So while we were in school, we used to do that. Okay. So even from for about 30 to 40 years, they are, I think, about 30 to 25 to 30 years, they are showing so many documentaries. Fine. Okay. So therefore, these fishes, dolphin, and shark, these are all having some streamlined bodies. Why? They have to overcome friction, but all other animals, they cannot move through the water. Now you take one example of a human being, a man who is swimming in the water. Is it easy to swim in the water? No. Though you have learned to swim, it is difficult to go through the water. That too, it is very difficult to move through salt water, namely that sea water. I hope you have heard about the name Kutraliswaran, okay? So Kutraliswaran. So Kutraliswaran was a child. When he was a child, he used to cross so many rivers by swimming. He was able to swim through oceans. So now he may be of age 25, 30 like that. Okay. So while he was a child in the about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. So while we were studying in school, this name was very popular, Kutrali. So this is just to add to this topic. Okay. So Kutraliswaran was a swimmer. Okay. So very good swimmer starting from the childhood. Okay. So he can cross so many strides, okay, like Park Strait he has crossed like that. So he has also traveled so many miles in sea. Okay, fine. So even then, this water will apply some amount of friction. You cannot avoid that. Okay, that is called fluid friction or drag. Okay, so how do these animals and birds respond to fluid friction? Normally, birds, they don't travel through water. They travel only through air. They overcome the fluid friction, namely that air friction. How? By taking turns. So while they are migrating from one place to another place, migration means not like 20 kilometer, 30 kilometer. They will be crossing thousands of kilometers. Okay. So Vedandangal is an important place in Tamil Nadu. Okay. So bird sanctuary, Kalakadu, Mundandurai. So these are all sanctuaries. Birds from so many foreign countries, they are traveling thousands of kilometers, thousands of miles. How is it possible to come through this air friction? They have some streamlined structure in their body, and they take some rotation to cross the air. Okay, cross through the areas. Okay, so while so many birds are moving in front, other birds are taking rest. Okay, so they are reducing the air friction and they travel. Okay, and so many water living, that is aquatic animals, can travel through all over the seas. It's very easy for them. They are having streamlined structure. They overcome their friction. Using that concept of streamlined structure of dolphins, shark, etc. in the sea, we have constructed submarines. Okay, except a few things which were thought by the human beings, all other things are copied from nature. Will you accept this? Human beings have copied nearly 99% of equipments or accessories from nature. Will you accept it or not? That 1% may not be available for other creatures because man is of 6 senses. Okay, so man has 6 senses. So the 6th sense is not the nature of other animals or birds. Okay, so using the 6th sense, he has created something, but all other things are copied. What is copied? By looking at the structure of dolphin, whale, etc., we have made submarines. Submarine. What do you mean by submarine? Which is submerged in water. So you have water, sea water here. So you have ships which is floating on the which is floating on the sea, and some objects, some instruments, some some vessels, they have constructed in such a way that so they will be having some water inlet and water outlet. Okay, so few people can travel inside this. The structure would be of a shark or dolphin, metallic structure. If you open one wall, sea water will go inside, and immediately the weight of the submarine will be more. That would be sunk on the water body, and you can travel through water. You can watch the enemy's places. Okay, they are all used in defense, submarines. Okay, and submarine is having a streamlined structure, okay, to overcome the friction exerted by liquid. So when you remove this water, what will happen? Weight of the submarine will become less. It will float to the surface, float on the surface. Okay, so this is also one of the example to overcome fluid friction or fluid drag. Okay, so there may be so many examples. Even you can say that the structure of cars, buses. So every bus would be having the front end would be like this. Is there any bus which is having a flat front end? No, it is very difficult to move through. Okay, curved end, so that the air which is opposing the motion can pass through the sideways. Cars, aeroplanes, helicopter, rockets, missiles, submarines, ships. You can add so many. All these are having some streamlined structure. Why? Because we are not able to overcome the friction exerted by the fluids, which is nature. We cannot overcome nature. We can escape from nature sometimes. In order to escape from the effect of friction, nature's friction, we do all these things. We manipulate all these things. Okay, so this is about the friction exerted by liquids and air. Okay, so in general it is fluid. Okay, in general it is fluid. Okay, so fluids, as I told earlier, fluid means liquids and gases. Gases, I mean air here. Okay, so air. So I told another example in the last class. I showed you a video of meteors. Meteors are small stones, some astronomical objects. So meteor shower. Okay, meteor shower. So what do? They just enter into Earth's atmosphere. So atmosphere contains gases, air. Air is applying some amount of, say for example, a small stone is coming here. Okay, when the stone enters into this atmosphere, because of the friction, it gets fire. Okay, so before it reaches the earth, almost it is burnt in the atmosphere. Okay, it is burnt. It is burnt in the atmosphere itself. It cannot reach the earth. Suppose the size of that meteor is very large, which cannot be burnt in the atmosphere, only those stones would be reaching the earth. Okay, so almost most of the portion would be burnt. After that, some portion may be hitting the ground. Such a stone was coming and it was hitting a portion in the ground. Arizona is a place in United States of America, so where the air friction was insufficient to burn the entire stone. You can see now, even now, there is a hole in the surface of the earth in like this. Okay, so where the meteor or that stone was falling on the ground in Arizona, US. So if you look at, if you search in Google, you can see Arizona. So what is that? The hole that was made by which was hit by the stone or the meteor, which was greater in size. So the air friction was not enough to burn entirely the stone, therefore it hit the ground so many years back. Okay, hundreds of years back. Okay, so this is about the air friction. Okay, I think we have completed the portion in this lesson, friction. Is it clear for everyone? Are you able to understand the concept of friction and friction in surface, normal surface, friction in fluids, air and water? So I have told you so many examples. So this is a day-to-day activity. Even just you rub it, it is friction. Okay, so why do I get heat? Suppose if you just rub it, so you can just rub your palms, you will be getting heat. So that heat is very important. Okay, the effect of friction is very important. Sometimes the friction we need to walk, to write, to hold something. See what happens. I want to change my channel. If there is no friction, what will happen? It will be falling on the ground. Sometimes I want friction, but in the case of machinery parts, just like in cars, two-wheelers, bicycles, other machineries, industrial machineries, etc., if we have continuously friction, that friction produces heat. Because of the heat, the energy is lost, the machines or the parts are damaged. Okay, so that is a major concern for the human beings. We have to replace it periodically. Okay, so for cars or cycles or two-wheelers, so when the tires are worn out, you have to replace it. It's because of the friction between road and the tires. There may be so many examples. Okay, fine. And regarding this fluid friction, it is very important to understand the fluid friction for the sailors or those who sail the boats. Okay, it is very difficult to stop the cruises or other vessels. Okay, so luggage vessels. So they have to understand the fluid friction. So there is so many engineering aspect is there, marine science or marine engineering. Okay, so only based on the friction, they have so many concepts there. Okay, so how to stop, etc. They have to understand. Okay, and regarding air friction, so we do not have a direct impact, but we have designed so many vehicles and all. So, but that aeroplane, moving of aeroplane is uh, guided. So by the aerodynamics. So the very subject they are learning is aerodynamics, aeronautical engineering. The first thing is that they have to understand the air resistance. Okay, how to go through air, etc., they would be learning. Okay, so how to avoid friction and how to remove the adverse effect of friction, all those things we have understood from this lesson. Is that clear for everyone? Are you able to understand the concept of friction? Okay, so don't think that friction is somewhere else. Don't think that friction is only in the book. Page number, what is the page number? Friction is in the science book. That is not the case. Chapter number 12, page number 169, that is friction, not that is friction. Friction is everywhere. Okay, friction is everywhere. Okay, so you understand the effects of friction, concept of friction, which you come across day-to-day life. So one advice I want to give you is that please listen carefully. Normally, people want to clean their home during the weekends. Okay, that Friday, it is a long habit that people wash their floors. Okay, so on Fridays. So please be careful on Fridays, particularly, not only Fridays. So whenever your house or floor is cleaned, washed, please be careful. Okay, there may be so many accidents. There may be so many accidents in the past. So you can hear that. Okay, so many accidents were because of the reduced friction. That is why I ask you to be careful on Fridays and Tuesdays. So because normally our mothers will be cleaning their home on Tuesdays and Fridays with water. Nowadays, we have reduced the friction in the floor by using tiles, mosaic tiles. And also we earlier, so while I was studying in school, my mother was used to clean the floor with some normal water, that's all. Now you have so many soap waters. What are the soap waters? So I just want to mention that name. What is that? Lysol and some other chemicals are there. Okay. So all these are containing soap. They are nothing but they are acting as lubricants. Already water is a lubricant. Okay, water is a lubricant. How water is a lubricant? So while your mother is working with the grinder, so when you are making some rice flavor, so if you add some water, it will be moving smooth. Okay, so the flavor will be moving or will be grinded smooth, will be ground smooth. So all these soap waters are added on the ground. Already water is a friction reducing agent, namely the lubricant. Again, soap water is added. It is most likely to fall on the ground. Also, we don't have the habit of wearing chappals in inside houses. Are you able to understand? So the important concept is friction and increasing and reducing friction. Dry floors are having reduced the friction, wet floors are having increased the friction. So please be careful whenever your house is cleaned. We are not going to operate or sailing those ships or airplanes right now. You may be doing in your later life, okay? So, but the very moment when you clean your home, you are going to meet less friction. Don't get fall and don't others let get fall. Okay, so don't others. Please warn others, your elders in your home. Okay, to have a careful step. Okay, so even in restrooms also, we will be keeping that restrooms floor very wet, where the friction is very less. You have to be more careful. Okay, that is one of the essence you have to take from this lesson. Okay, we will discuss the question answers in the next class. Is it fine with everyone? Even if you have some questions, you can also ask in the next class. We will discuss question answers and your questions in the next class. Okay. Thank you all. Please be careful on Fridays and Tuesdays, as well as whenever you clean your home. Okay. Please remember, friction is less with water. That is very practical, immediate application. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.